welcome. It's lovely to have you here again today. 1st of September 2022, which means for us here in New Zealand, it's the first day of spring. 25 years ago, the 1st of September would have been the day that us here in New Zealand, because we come from the future, we would have heard that Princess Diana had have died. Would have died. She did die, did she? Anyway, that's not the important bit. I had thought that I was leaving the filming of her episode, her silver anniversary, her 25 years of dead time, until the 1st of September, because in New Zealand, that's where we heard about it. However, no, it waited for today so that Miss Brit-Brit, Miss Britney Spears, was able to drop her 20-minute story about the last 15 or so years of her life and where she's at now. So what do these things all have in common? Princess Diana, Brit-Brit, Henry Harry, or as a lot of people are now calling him, has been, and this thing we call Mexit. So let's just start at the top. So when it comes to a prayer, Diana, Mummy, has got that well covered. So I don't need to do a prayer today. There will be 3 links in this description. There'll be Brit-Brit and Elton, Hold Me Closer, which is a beautiful song, but I think it's the music video that I most like, dropping all those roses and love hearts all over the planet. I'll link to Britney in her words, so there's been no corporation involved. She has just come out and used her own words to explain her experience of being helped by the systems in the last 25 years of her life. And then just the third thing is Rose in her 8 dimensions, because I just love them. So anyway, so what do these all have in common? There's a few themes here: the firm, the establishment, the book, and there's a few other ideas swirling around there. And when we get to the end, we will be asking these questions. Has the entire Mexit movie been designed to expose that the firm, the establishment, is controlled and run by psychopaths? So we'll use the Rider-Waite for that. The second question is, will the corporation, the machine, known as the British royal family, I suppose I should put that in quotes, be dissolved to facilitate Gaia, Mother Earth, the planet we know as Earth, Papatūānuku, and all her progeny to return to intuitive intelligence? And the third is just a collective consciousness, vibration, and energy with regard to this entire thing. So what we've learnt from all of these things is we've learnt a lot about the celebrity machine, or the celebrity corporation, with both the MSM media and the SM media, the social media, publicists, Sunshine Sacks, and the bots. We've learned a lot about the political machines and the corporations. We've learnt a lot about, especially from Britney today, the legal machine and the corporations. And I suppose just our own experiences over the last few years. We've had a lot of experiences with the legal machines and the medical machine corporation, the mental health corporation. A lot of us, I'm assuming, well, all of us, including me, have been analysed by people who have never met us, according to the book, So we've got that in common. So yes, is this whole thing here actually, is what we have in common that these corporations are controlled and run by psychopaths, and the curse of Wetiko is at play, and also the book Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the 5th edition, DSM-5. So that is the framework, what's going to pull all of this together. And as some feedback that I received was, yes, your pictures do look incredibly messy and all over the shop, but they actually are very, very easy to follow. So I'll take that feedback and keep up this. So a bit of a timeline for some context. So myself, I'm on this journey from intuitive ignorance to intuitive intelligence, which I would now suggest or understand as Rose describes it, living and being the 8 dimensions. And the collective consciousness, it's been very rare in any point in time of anyone's history that the collective consciousness has been focused on the same thing at the same time. So there's all these kind of examples that I don't recall, but JFK died, Martin Luther King died, the moon landing, Elvis died, etc. And those are those moments where, yeah, you can ask pretty much anyone on the planet, if where were you, what were you doing, and it will all come back to them. It's all coming back to me now. So in my timeline, when I think about the collective consciousness, the times in my life when the world has been united and thinking, feeling, or focused on the same thing at the same time, the first one would have been this Live Aid in 1985. And we are the world, we are the children, we are the ones to make a brighter day, and let's start giving. Or something like that. Anyway, I've linked that song many times. And plus you can just do a Google on the YouTube and it brings it up right at the top of the list. So that collective consciousness energy, from my perspective, it was very hopeful. It was on a love vibration, and it was quite a high vibration. The next time in my life was 1997, 25 years ago. And that was when Princess Diana dies in tunnel in Paris. And that vibration was grief, but it was also love for 2 children. I'm not sure if it was a low vibration or a high vibration, but it definitely was a love vibration. The next one for me was the Twin Towers fall in 2001. And that vibration for me is these times of the love vibration. This is when it turned to the fear vibration. So there was a lot of grief, and I think it was low vibration again. But this is when, for my experience on the earth plane this time round, that's when the fear vibration on the collective consciousness started to be introduced. And then we come along to 2020 to ongoing, and the last 2 years plus, the collective consciousness has all been thinking, feeling, and focused on the same thing at the same time. This is different because it's for a sustained period of time, whereas these were, maybe 2 to 4 weeks, depending on who you were, and then it kind of was all over and you got back to real life. But this one here, the illness, the treatment, the ugly, the fear, misinformation, disinformation, we are the podium of truth, all of that stuff, as I connect in, this is on a fear vibration. It's anger, it's hate, it's dark, it's division, it's separatist, it's very, very low, dark energy. And that has been going on for 2+ years. And as we've talked about before, humans, you know, the human body, the human experience is not designed to have unrelenting, unsustained periods, like unrelenting, sustained periods of extreme stress. We're not built for that. And anyway, I'm not going to go sideways on why we're now seeing all the ram raids. But that's for later on. So anyway, back to this one. Collective consciousness. Princess Diana dies in tunnel in Paris. I watched those two boys walk behind their mother's coffin. I saw the wreath with mummy written on it. I heard the uncle's speech. I'm going to protect my sister's blood family. I felt that same compassion and emotion. Those poor children. Goodbye, England's Rose. The collective consciousness will care for your boys. And here we go. Neck minute. We're in this period of 2019 to 2022. And we are, pick a side, people. It's Team Cambridge versus Team Sussex. Pick a side. And when you use these words, you're actually meaning pick Harry or pick William, by the way. That's what you're meaning. Those two boys that the entire world saw walking behind that coffin. And, well, I'm going to speak for myself. I felt a huge ton of compassion and emotion for those poor children. And here, 20 plus years later, yeah, I'm picking a side. Of course I'm picking a side. I know what I think about these people. That the one thing we all have in common who are picking this side is we've never met these people. And here we are today, and I've listened to Brit with her her story about being inside the corporation that was supposed to help her and all the harm and abuse and trauma it inflicted, and it resonated so well. And I see so many parallels. Because at the moment, allegedly, for entertainment purposes, these are the things I'm hearing in the Twittergram and the YouTube world, coming from all of these people who have never met these people, but have some knowledge of the book, edition 5, DSM-5. So yeah, this is what's going on. The royals are very worried for H. He might do something silly. Oh, and they keep saying all of this, allegedly, for entertainment purposes. So, what they're actually saying there is suicide. That's what they're meaning. They're saying TW is a narc, who doesn't know she's one. But my question, or is she an actor? And I think that's meant to be the wife, or maybe it's the witch. I don't know, but I've seen TW, but yeah, even Urban Dictionary can't tell me what that is. He's like his mother, and the book said she wasn't well either. And then there's all the rumours about his mental health, his past, his low points, his points where he's admitted he struggled, the points where he admitted he used substances, drugs and alcohol to help himself. He's already self-confessed all of that. So, yeah. Neck minute. Goodbye, England's Rose. We'll look after your children. Neck minute. Pick a side, people. Anyway, let's move on to our ladder. Kelly's ladder. So yeah, this is a messy one, but it actually does make a lot of sense. So on this journey from intuitive ignorance up to intuitive intelligence, let's just have a little look what's been going on. So this is my ladder, and I'm asking Leonardo da Vinci to come and help me draw better, and I reckon he's done really good today. So on the left here, what have I been watching while this, the last 2 years of the illness, the treatment, the mandates, the woman dates, you can date a dinosaur if you want. While all of that's been going on, what have I been watching? The Tiger King, the Mexit, the Free Britney, and the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard 6-week show. So they've been some of my things. And when I go back to 2019, the marriage of the youngest boy that I watched walk behind the coffin, and my thought was, she's just an actress. None of this wedding is real. That's what I thought back then. And then we got to February 2020, and the Mexit got announced. And then in March 2020, like literally just a couple of weeks later, fair upon time, the illness arrives. However, over here, the energy, the collective consciousness, be kind, love people, put a soft toy in your window, love and light and namaste, because love will save the day and we'll all get through. Meanwhile, let's just scare the bejesus out of you. So yeah, climbing up this ladder. This is my ladder, by the way. April, May, June, stay home, save lives, wash hands, help everyone. And then in July 2020, this constant fear and this constant running around I'd been doing, and this constant looking after everyone else, and this constant not looking after myself, there was a traumatic event in my personal life, and a man ran through a roundabouty thing and did not stop and just crashed straight into my car. And although I did go into a little bit of fight or flight, and when he drove off, I chased him down so I could get his details, once all of that adrenaline was gone, I went into a bit of a freeze state. And, remember we've talked about this is what working out looks like. And I have had tower moments before at different ages of my life. Just like, 15, the William child, he walked behind his mother's coffin, and 11, the Harry child, walked behind his mother's coffin. I can imagine that's one of these tower low moments in their history. And yes, so then what happened? Then I had the illuminating experience of the inside out, outside in look at the taxpayer-funded corporation called the Mental Health Services. And this is why I think you should listen to Brittany, because she will explain these things. Based on what others say about me and their experience of my life, the book comes out. So people are talking about me and my experiences here, and the book comes out. This book coming out and this being done to you, listen to Brittany, but I too can attest. Traumatized, abused, and violated by the system at my rock bottom, it rock bottomed me from my rock bottom, which was the absolute opposite of healing, which is the, when you can't do it, come to the experts, because it's okay not to be okay. And I don't actually think they ever say, we will help make you okay. I don't think they say that. I just think I made that rubbish up. But anyway, I'm not programmed by the state or religion anymore, so I know better. And then this next thing, family relationships actively and nefariously further eroded by this system. And there's multiple systems, the mental health system, the legal system, the the WIN system, the ACC systems, all the taxpayer-funded corporations that are supposed to, well, I mistakenly thought they were all there to help with the healing process. What I've learned from personal experience, they actively, and I believe nefariously, further erode family relationships. So then we move into New Zealand, July 2021, and we have the Fiji UN lady flowing to New Zealand. Strings were pulled, emails were sent, and suddenly a no becomes a yes. And then, boom, August 2021, Delta is in New Zealand. Let's go into another level 4 immediate lockdown. Except this time the be kind, love everyone, be kind. This energy changed. The vibration was hate, anger, fear. Hate your neighbour, don't trust your neighbour, don't talk to your neighbour. We are the podium of truth. And while you're at it, go get it. So this energy started to make me feel uncomfortable, started to make me not want to watch the TV, because the TV here didn't give me a sore tummy, but this TV, it's hurting my tummy. So I started turning it off, but I was just feeling something was not right. Something's not right, because my gut is hurting. And when you're a little kid, the tummy ache, that is the older person's migraine. So anyway, October 2021, I believe it was a Friday, and the mandates got announced in New Zealand. The lie was exposed. Way back here sometime, no, we will never mandate. That's not necessary. That's not what we'll do. Except I think if you go back and look in the language, it's pretty tricky language, and potentially I didn't actually say that. I just made you think I said that. So up here, mandates announced. The lie was exposed. That was my ice bucket challenge moment, and that was my red pill time. Like, something is not right here. Something is absolutely broken. And here's the thing. I'm not in health. I wasn't in health. I wasn't in education. This wasn't about me. But that woke me up. Something is wrong. And that's when I started understanding that these human rights, these Bill of Rights, this Nuremberg Code, they're all being violated. They are all being violated. And my mistaken belief that as a free sovereign being in the beautiful country of New Zealand, under the sovereignty of this Queen Elizabeth II, she's just the face of the firm and the establishment. But I really struggled. This is not what I believe my country is all about, and that was really, really hard. And so I did go to the protests. I did go stand outside the Governor General's place. I did listen to Karen Baker, I think that's her name, telling me all about what to say and demand the dissolving and issue the writs. And there's some paper that got published and then got hidden that talks about so much dark, nefarious stuff. And so I was like, well, the elected government, the taxpayer-funded corporation, has gone a bit like how insane, like someone else did back in this man's time. Someone went a bit insane, and they're showing they're crazy, because this is all mental. This cannot be happening in New Zealand. This cannot be happening in New Zealand. So let's go and talk to the Governor General, because she's got the line to the old Queenie, and she will sort it out. And the line to the Queenie, and the Queenie, crickets, baby, for the entire Commonwealth. And the three countries that I most saw hurting through all of this: New Zealand, Australia, and Canada. So for others in the Commonwealth, if I'm not able to speak to your pain, I apologise. So now here we are. We're at this point in time, August, September 2022, and Brittany is free and she's released her experience. But the magnifying glass of the world is on this Harry and this Meghan actress and this Mexit world. And it's all about them against the book. And out there in the land of I've never met these people. These are the people that I've listened to who have given me my view on these people. These people who, with maybe the exception of this one, has never met any of these people. And they all say allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. But yeah, the Mad World Tarot, Lady C, River, and H.G. Tudor. So I've been immersing myself in all of that to just marinate and figure out what I think is going on. And yes, at this point in time, when the book's about to come out, so apparently there's lots of books, there's been some Spotify podcasts and all of that stuff. I'm not listening to that. But the things that are being said sound very much like the things that were said about old Brittany. Or young Brit-Brit. We're very worried for H. He might do something silly. So suicide, they mean. She is a narc who doesn't know she's one. Oh, that's a narcissist. I'm like, where is she an actress? Actor, sorry. All the rumours about his mental health, his past, his lows, it's all coming out. And he's like his mother. And the book said she wasn't well either. And here's the thing. There's just one little bit about me in this little ladder. So at the doctor's the other day, because I do have a good doctor, we talked about convalescence, time spent recovering from an illness or medical treatment, recuperation, and how in the old days people would be, go away to convalesce. You had a hysterectomy, you had a stillborn baby, you had TB, you would go away to the seaside and you'd convalesce. And yeah, I didn't do that. And so that's how I've figured out what I'm actually doing from May 2022 to April 2023. This is my convalescence. So that's quite important. So yeah, just a little bit back to this is what working out looks like. So we've talked about this before, and all these low points, and it's a point in time, and who I am on this day, my wedding day, the happiest day of my life. If you went and looked at your DSM-5 book on that day, I think you'd say I was tip-top. But on this day, when someone committed suicide, or, the man ran into my car and then just drove off, and when I rang the police for help, they told me that, you're not hurt enough, love, we're not going to come and help you. These points in time, your book's going to say something different. But what I'm seeing is this royal corporation, the firm, the establishment. I'm not talking about the humans, and if you need to go back and look at what working out looks like, that's well explained there. But there's a cherry-picked H version of his story, and there's a cherry-picked William version, W version of his story. And that's what we are having published to us. So it just comes down to which corporation has more money to pay the other corporations to flood the collective consciousness with their version. Okay, so that was a big, long, rambly one. And now we need to get to the card questions. So, question 1. Has the entire Mexit movie been designed to expose that the firm, the establishment, is controlled and run by psychopaths? So, if you don't understand that concept, there's this great book by a man called Paul Levy, Dispelling Wedico. It's chunky. Like reading it, it feels like chunky soup. Because it's trying to explain concepts and energies that can infect corporations and organizations, and explain that as the evil instead of the individuals that make up that thing. So anyway, St. John, you can sit up here, since you did go and die for Queenie's dad, her dad. Okay, so we're going to cut the cards. We've already thinged them. Those are the ones that want to go on top. That's the one that wants to be number 1. Okay, so this Mexit thing. The being designed to expose that the firm, the establishment, is controlled and run by psychopaths. The past that led to this, 5 of Swords, and what's going on in the middle. What's going on? What's the situation that sits between them? The outcome is the Empress, and some help and advice is the 4 of Cups and the Devil. Okay, so the whole Mexit thing, it's the 9 of Wands, it's communication, and it has just been unrelentless for the last 2 years. And at the moment, this is whether it's the Harry, the H one, whether it's the Mexit producers and directors of that particular movie, they are hurting, but they've got everything they needed to say out there, and they've got one last thing to say. So, yep, okay. Has it been designed to expose that the firm, the establishment, is controlled and run by psychopaths? So yeah, 7, 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, at the start, it was getting out that way, and everything that's happened since has actively been worked on and put out into the physical and material world, working towards that outcome. So the past that led to this, the 5 of Swords, and as I sit in the energy of this card, this isn't telling me about the last 100 years, the last 200 years, the last 25 years. This is telling me about the last 900 years, the last 1800 years. Like this corporation has been wounding people and taking everything for their own and leaving people hurt and crying in the distance. If you can't fall in with the firm, we're going to take away all your swords, we're going to take away your HRH, and and we've got the book, so we can say whatever we want about you. So yeah, that's the Harry, and that's his mum. It's all right, she's got you. So what is going on here is it's the Ace of Cups. It's new emotional thinking. Emotionally, I was so connected to the concept of the British royal family and the monarchy, and I definitely voted do not change our flag, do not change our flag. I have not had the option to vote on do I want our country's name changed. Maybe someone did learn something from that key experience. But new feelings and new thoughts are arising, because I am now purely for what's going on between these two boys. I say, let it end. When this reign ends, let it all end. And that is the outcome is people get their sovereignty back. We don't need to be ruled and reigned over by any other queen. We are the queens of our own heart. And if we can get into the 8th dimension, we don't need these corporations controlling us, taxing us, creating structures of hierarchy that don't serve the earth. So what is the advice? So it's just the Four of Cups. It's just accepting that this, these thousands and thousands of years of history and wars and this corporation that sacrifices, every second or third generation of sons, and, go and pillage and keep all the beautiful jewels for themselves. That's the past, and we're offered this new future. So holding on to, I'm taking this cup, but if you had told me 9 months ago that the whole concept of the royalty, the monarchy, the English royalty thing was going to go away, I probably would have been having a little sulk like that. And the other secondary advice is just for me, I'm going to own this. I lost myself. The me that felt so much compassion for those boys, I got sucked into all of the corporations' drama, and I picked a side, and I just got further and further and further into the ugly, and further and further and further away from those two young boys walking behind their mother's coffin. And this is not when that man said he would look after his sister's blood family, and I kind of said, yeah, me too, picking a side was not healthy. Okay, so those are those cards. This is the collective, this is the New Zealand energy. And so this is for the question, will the corporation, the machine, the firm, the establishment, known as the British royal family, be dissolved to facilitate Gaia, Mother Earth, and the planet we know as Earth, Papatuanuku, and all her progeny to return to intuitive intelligence? So, yes. So we're going to do these the same way. So this is that one. That one wants to go there. That one can go there. Okay. So this is the corporation. The Hanged Man. This is, will it be dissolved and crumble, so that what we're wishing here in New Zealand, to facilitate Gaia, Mother Earth, the planet we know as Earth, and all her progeny to return to intuitive intelligence. So that's about that, the Tower. This is the past that led to this. The Fool. New beginnings. And this is what's going on. The Lover's card. This is some energy. This is the outcome. And this is some advice. Judgment. And this is some other advice. The Magician. Okay. So the British royal family, they are having their enlightenment moment. The world has been turned upside down, and the collective consciousness is seeing them differently. And will they be dissolved to facilitate the machine, the British royal family? So I'm not talking about Queenie, I'm not talking about Charlie, I'm not talking about Harry, I'm not talking about Anne, I'm not talking about any of them. I'm talking about the firm, the establishment, the corporation. So the same thing that, the 11-year-old boy child and his mother referred to. So, yeah, man, their tower moment is coming. And the past that led to this, the new beginning. So it was the Mexit. That was a movie, just all to take us on this journey to see this. And what's going on in between is this lover's energy, Skyfather, Mother Earth. Like, people are connecting and sending healing, unconditional love to Papatuanuku, Gaia, and all her progeny. And with it being sent to all her progeny, that includes the 11-year-old child and the 15-year-old child. It includes the child sitting in the house next to me, concerned about climate change. And it also is about the 4-year-old child in a mine on the other side of the world, being sacrificed so that the child living next door to me can falsely believe that he is saving the planet by begging everyone in his family to buy an electric car. So because it's for all of the progeny, the love vibration is right for this. So the outcome. The High Priestess, Rohi, goddess of the spirit world, motherhood, fertility, nature. So the High Priestess, I just got, this is the Diana card. So yeah, leave it in Mummy's capable hands. She wants the best for her children and all the children of the world. And she was inside the biggest, most historical corporation of them all. So yeah, I think she's got this personally. Some advice: judgment, reflection, reckoning, and awakening. The day of judgment, the day of seeing that this corporation of the British royal family has been sending our sons every second or third generation away to die, to what's that word where you make your own coffers richer? Like, yeah, there's a word for it, but I watched The Last Kingdom. I watched quite a lot of stuff around King Alfred's time, and this, yeah, it's a modern world, but the sacrifices are still ongoing. The secondary advice is the magician, Tane, god of the forest, willpower, desire, creation, manifestation. So yeah, it's just put the energy into what you want. We've been enlightened. What we thought the royal family was, it's just tipped upside down, and we can see it so clearly. So with, it's inevitable. Everyone dies and London Bridge will fall, and that seems like the perfect time to end all of the corporation stuff and actually give those human souls back their life, potentially, because who knows what they do or don't want. So the last card, these ones, the collective consciousness and energy with regard to this situation. So what card have we got today? Hex. Be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. So yes, when they come for you, they are coming for you. They've come for me, they've come for Brittany, and they're coming for you. But be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. Do not allow yourself to have your buttons pushed and have these people and corporations who know all of your weak spots. They've seen all of your low tower moments, And they do know best how to trigger you into fight or flight, where your mind, because it's not all fully functioning, there are experiences and behaviours exhibited that do align with the book. Version 5, DSM-5. So yes, be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. So this was a bit of a different one, and I am now going to go and enjoy my cup of tea, which I have now realised I have a huge amount of mint in my garden, and mint tea is much nicer than mint tea bag teas. So yes, as I am loving the earth, and sending her unconditional healing for Gaia, Papatuanuku and all of her progeny, the earth is beginning to love me back and created the connection that said they've stopped selling the tea bags at the supermarket, but just look in your garden here, Kelly. All of this mint. Enjoy that for your gut. So this has been another long one, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'll see you tomorrow, but whether I do or I don't, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you again here soon. We're all just a piece of the honeycomb.